What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my DVD collection for 2016 Horror Part 2. So last time we finished with the F's, so starting off with G. Up first we have Ghost Ship from 2002, not a great film, starring Gabriel Byrne, but the opening scene is fantastic, and then the film sort of goes downhill from there. Okay, up next we have Ginger Snaps from 2000. Yeah, really good Canadian teen werewolf movie with Emily Perkins and Catherine Isabelle that I liked a lot when I first saw it. I haven't seen the sequel, don't really have a desire to. Okay, up next we have the Halloween films. The first one, of course, John Carpenter's classic from 1978. My second favorite horror film of all time, Donald Pleasence and Jamie Lee Curtis. Just fantastic. Great music, of course. Up next we have Halloween 2 from 1981. Yeah, it takes place basically where the first one finishes on the same night. Of course, takes place in the hospital. Just fantastic as well. The body count just goes up, and just a great movie. Okay, up next we have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch from 1982. Sort of a departure from the Michael Myers story, but a really weird and fun film to watch in Halloween anyway. Okay, up next we have Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers from 1988. Of course, title says it all. And of course, Scream Queen favorite Danielle Harris in that one as well. Halloween 5 from 1989, Revenge of Michael Myers, again with Danielle Harris. Up next we have Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers from 1995. Interestingly, Paul Rudd is in this movie, which I barely remember. And up next we have Halloween H2O, 20 years later from 1998. Jamie Lee Curtis returned. You've got LL Cool J, Josh Hartnett, Michelle Williams. Yeah, not too bad, that film. Alright, moving up. Hearing my body creak in the background. Alright, we have Halloween Resurrection from 2002. Yeah, I was not really a fan of this. I think Buster Rhymes was in this movie. It wasn't great, that's for sure. Alright, up next we have Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween from 2007. I really enjoy his remake. I think the first half is fantastic. Really dug it when I first saw it. I wasn't a fan of his sequel though, Halloween 2 from 2009, to be honest. Alright, moving on. We have Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters on 3D. Yeah, cool film. Some good special effects, kind of cheesy fun, with Jeremy Renner and Gemma Arterton from, I think this was 2013. Yeah. Up next we have Hatchet. Yeah, sort of cool horror film from 2006. Good old-fashioned slasher movie. I really liked. Didn't care for the ending though. And I also got the second one, Hatchet 2, on Blu-ray from 2010. Alright, up next we have another midnight movie double feature, The Haunted Palace. Yeah, filmed by Roger Corman and Vincent Price in the Tower of London from 1962. That's the main reason I got that. Up next we have The Haunting, the original 1963 British film produced by Robert Wise. Really good film. And I also got the sequel from 1999, film directed by Jan de Bont, starring Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Owen Wilson, Lily Taylor. Good special effects, but not great. Alright, up next we have High Tension, really good French horror film from 2004. Switchblade Romance, as it's known in the UK. Yeah, some really messed up scenes in that movie, but I dug the hell out of it. Ugh, these are always stuck together. Alright, up next we have Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes from 1977. Yeah, great early film by Wes Craven. Just fantastic movie. And I was a big fan of the remake as well, The Hills Have Eyes from 2006. Wasn't a fan of the second one, The Hills Have Eyes 2. but I thought the remake was really good. Alright, up next we have Hostel, directed by Eli Roth from 2006. Yeah, I don't love this film, but I love parts of it. Like, I like the nudity in the beginning with the Czechoslovakian girls, and the ending is great. The ending's a really great surprise and just really cool. And I also have Hostel Part 2 from 2007. Good female cast, and as you can imagine, I have that because it's got some good nudity in it as well. Alright, up next we have House at the End of the Street from 2012. Not a great film with Jennifer Lawrence and Max Terrio on Blu-ray, but I like Jennifer Lawrence. Who doesn't? Good moments. God, another one of these ones that has like this tape on the spine. I hate that. Anyway, House of Thousand Corpses from Rob Zombie from 2003. Yeah, I did not love this film when I first saw it. Was kind of put off by the whole thing, to be honest. But yeah, I have it because I love Devil's Rejects, and yeah, I'm sort of a Rob Zombie fan. Alright, up next we have House of Wax, the original 1953 version with Vincent Price. Fantastic movie, one of his best. And I also have the remake from 2005. Really a big fan of this movie. I thought it was fantastic. Loads of great scenes, loads of fun. Alicia Cuthbert, fantastic. Paris Hilton, her death scene was good, and the ending is fantastic. I dug that film. Alright, up next we have House on Haunted Hill from 1959, another Vincent Price classic. Up next we have The Howling from 1981, really good werewolf film from the 80s. Really cool lenticular slipcover. Haven't seen any of the sequels, don't really have a desire to be honest. Up next we have The Hunchback of Notre Dame from 1939 with Charles Lawton. Yeah, terrific movie. Up next we have I Know What You Did Last Summer from 1997 with Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Philippe, what's his name? Oh god, I forgot his name. Oh, Freddie Prinze Jr., that's it, yeah. Wasn't a fan of the second one, but I like the first one. Alright, up next we have another Val Lewton double feature, I Walked with a Zombie, and The Body Snatcher with Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff from 1946, which is a fantastic movie. Highly recommend that if you get a chance. Alright, up next we have Inside, another great French horror film from 2007. Yeah, Dimension Extreme Collection. Up next we have Interview with the Vampire Chronicles from 1994. Film directed by Neil Marshall, or not Neil Marshall, Neil Jordan, sorry, with Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas, young Kirsten Dunst. Alright, up next we have The Invisible Man, the Legacy Collection. The first one from 1933 is fantastic. Claude Rains is just awesome in that movie. And also has the sequels, of course, The Invisible Man Returns, 1940, The Invisible Woman from 1940, Invisible Agent, 1942, and The Invisible Man's Revenge from 1944. Alright, up next we have another Val Lewton double feature with Boris Karloff, Isle of the Dead, and Bedlam from the 1940s. I think Bedlam was 1943. And the other one I'm not so sure about. Alright, up next we have Jacob's Ladder, a really interesting and weird Adrian Lyne film with Tim Robbins and Elizabeth Pena. Up next we have Jeepers Creepers from 2001 with Justin Long. Yeah, really cool film, liked it a lot. And I also have the sequel, Jeepers Creepers 2 from 2003. Not as good as the first one, but still pretty enjoyable. Alright, up next we have Jennifer's Body from 2009 with Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried, who's fantastic in this movie. The film, of course, the script was written by Diablo Cody. Sort of a guilty pleasure, but I don't think so. I think it's a good movie. Alright, up next we have The Legend of Hell House from 1973, another great British horror film from the 70s. Up next, we have Legion on Blu-ray from 2010 with Paul Bettany. Not great, that's for sure, but Paul Bettany has appeared in a number of movies, either as like a priest or angel or something like that. Up next, another Val Lewton double feature, The Leopard Man, which is fantastic, with Dennis O'Keefe, Margot, and The Ghost Ship, which I still have not seen, I think. It's been a while. I watched all these like back in 2012, so I don't remember if I watched The Ghost Ship. Anyway, up next we have Let Me In on Blu-ray from 2010 or 2011. Yeah, really good. I loved it even more than Let the Right One In, which I know a lot of people are a big fan of, but I thought the remake was even better. Chloe Grace Moretz, Cody Smith McPhee, and Richard Jenkins, who's a really fantastic actor, of course. Alright, up next we have Rob Zombie's The Lords of Salem from 2013 with Sherry Moon Zombie. Interesting witch movie. Yeah, good atmosphere in this film, I thought. The ending kind of wasn't great, but it had some good visuals, I thought. Alright, up next we have The Lost Boys from 1987, 2-disc special edition. Of course, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick, Jamie Gertz. Just a fantastic movie, one of my favorite horror films from the 80s, directed by Joel Schumacher. My fantasy football team is named after this movie because it was filmed in Santa Cruz. So I call my fantasy football team on YouTube the Santa Cruz Lost Boys. So that's where I get that from. Alright, up next we have Martyrs from 2008, I believe. Fantastic French horror film by Pascal Laugier. Amazing in parts, really tough to watch as well, but it's a stunning film, to be honest. Alright, up next we have another midnight movie double feature, The Mask of the Red Death from 1964. Of course, based on Edgar Allan Poe's novel with Vincent Price, and The Premature Burial from 1962. Alright, up next we have May, film by Lucky McKee from 2002. Yeah, good little movie with Angela Bettis, Jeremy Sisto, and Anna Faris. Alright, up next we have Mimic from 1997 with Mira Sorvino, Jeremy Northam, Josh Brolin, F. Murray Abraham, and Charles S. Dutton. Yeah, good movie, of course, set in New York, basically in the subway system. Some kind of weird creature has been set loose. Up next we have The Monster Squad from 1987. Fantastic fun, of course, from the 80s. Just a really cool movie. Goosebumps remind me a lot of The Monster Squad from last year. Alright, up next we have The Mummy, the Legacy Collection, of course, with Boris Karloff. The first one from 1932 is fantastic. The sequels, not so much. All of which I watched in 2012 as well. The Mummy's Hands, 1940. The Mummy's Tomb, 1942. The Mummy's Ghost, 1944. And The Mummy's Curse, 1944. Alright, up next we have Near Dark. Fantastic vampire film from 1987 with Bill Paxton, directed by Catherine Bigelow. Up next we have Night of the Demon from 1957, great British horror film as well. Again, it comes with Curse of the Demon, which is a shorter version. I think it's the American version of the same film. Alright, up next we have The Living Dead films, George A. Romero's classic Night of the Living Dead from 1968, just a fantastic movie. Next we have Dawn of the Dead from 1978, great addition, that one. And also have the remake by Zack Snyder, Dawn of the Dead from 2004, just a fantastic film with Sarah Polley, Ving Rhames, Mekhi Phifer. Ty Burrell from Modern Family was fantastic in this. I just love this remake even more than the first one. Also have Day of the Dead from 1985. Yeah, the reason I have it in there is so you can see the spine or see the title. And also got Land of the Dead from 2005. The sequels aren't, like when you get into these sequels in the 2000s, they're not very good. Diary of the Dead from 2007. And Survival of the Dead from 2009. Alright, on to the Nightmare on Elm Street films. The first one, directed by Wes Craven, of course, fantastic, from 1984, with John Saxon and Heather Langenkamp. Then all the sequels, we have Freddy's Revenge from 1985. One of these I know has, actually Johnny Depp was in the first one, that's right. Dream Warriors from 1987. The Dream Master from 1988. The Dream Child from 1989. Then we have Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare from 1991. Wes Craven's New Nightmare from 1994. And Freddy vs. Jason, New Line Platinum Series from 2003. The reason I have this here and not in my Halloween collection is because Freddy appears first in the title. So there you go. Alright, up next we have Nomads from 1986. Really interesting, creepy film about demons in Los Angeles with Pierce Brosnan and Leslie Ann Down. Alright, moving on to the O's. Up first we have The Omen from 1976. Classic, of course, with Gregory Peck and Lee Remick. Yeah, I remember seeing the sequels as a kid. Don't remember much about them, and I wasn't a fan of the 2006 remake. Up next we have The Others from 2001. Really interesting ghost story, really good, with Nicole Kidman. Up next we have P2 from 2007 with Rachel Nichols and Wes Bentley. Yeah, good film. Yeah, she looks amazing in that movie. Alright, up next we have the Paranormal Activity franchise. The first one from 2009. Yeah, I like the first one a lot with Katie Featherston. Yeah, it was a good surprise when I first saw it. Sequels get progressively worse though. Paranormal Activity 2 from 2010 on Blu-ray. Paranormal Activity 3. Yeah, so it goes back to the beginning when she was a kid from 2011. Paranormal Activity 4 from 2012. And Paranormal Activity 5, or just Paranormal Activity, the March ones from 2014. Cool lenticular slipcover. I sort of enjoyed The Ghost Dimension from 2015, so I'll be picking that one up as well, obviously. It at least offered something new in the Paranormal Activity franchise as far as the visuals, being able to see the apparition. Alright, up next we have Phantom of the Opera from 1943 with Claude Rains. Yeah, really good film, great version of that classic story. Up next we have Piranha, great film directed by Joe Dante. Roger Corman cult classic from 1978. And also picked up Piranha 3D from I think 2011. Yeah, good fun, good nudity, that's for sure. Wasn't a fan of Piranha 3 Double D. I thought it was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, the first remake was pretty decent. Alright, up next we have The Pit and the Pendulum from 1961. Another Vincent Price, Edgar Allan Poe midnight movie classic. Yeah, just a fantastic movie. So make sure that's in the right place. Alright, up next we have Poltergeist. Yeah, fantastic film, directed by Tobe Hooper, of course produced by Steven Spielberg. One of my favorite films or horror films of the 80s, from 1982. Just a fantastic movie. Was not a fan of the sequel from last year. I thought it was terrible, to be honest. Alright, up next we have Priest from 2011. Like I said, Paul Bettany, just a role made for him. 3D Blu-ray, good visuals, not a great story, to be honest. And last but not least, I'm going to end on the P's, end on the classic, Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock's classic from 1960 with Anthony Perkins and Jeanette Lee. Just fantastic movie. Yeah, one of Hitchcock's best, and one of my favorite horror films of all time. So that is horror part 2. Up next, we will finish horror with part 3. So thank you for watching as always. Until next time, I'll see ya.
Bum.